Hey, this is Johnny Beane, live May 9th, 2016, 1:36 p.m. on the West Coast. I don't know where you guys are.
That would be 4:36, 4:37 and counting here on the East Coast.
Awesome. Awesome. We got David Nesdall and David's
Yo,
friend Nick.
What's up?
Yo,
How you doing?
good. How are you doing, man?
Better that I got this thing going for me. So
Cool. Yeah, we wanted to talk about that because it looks like you tagged me in a post yesterday
yeah.
on Facebook. I just happened to see it and contacted Nesdall and wanted to talk about the issue you were having
Yeah.
and how that can be resolved. And it's fun talking about this stuff too. So so it's all good. It's all good. So I'm gonna share some links really quickly so people can watch this and maybe ask their own questions about these things. Whoa. But yeah. So anyway, we're talking about the EVH D-Tuna. So hey,
yeah.
David Nesdall.
Hey.
Yo, I'm gonna share some links real quick. So go ahead and or Nick, maybe we should start with you. Explain exactly what your issue is, what problems you are having with that.
All right. Quick background. I got the Wolfgang special. I absolutely love it. Amazing guitar. I decided, put the red D-Tune in, red springs. Gonna put the kill switch in here. Gonna have a tech do it. But basically, I noticed when I got it, the black D-Tuna was kind of sticky, and I just figured that the way I got it out of the box, I didn't have it set up yet, so the bridge was sitting very far, very high and far back. So, and I noticed that it was touching the body, so I'm like, all right. So then I put the red one on, had it set up, and I'm like, all right. But I noticed it was still, I'll just show you guys. When you'd pull it out, I'll show you this way, it would stick on the bridge. So, see, here's the second problem. It gets kind of stuck, like halfway out.
Mm-hmm.
It is full way, but it would get stuck there.
Right.
And it wouldn't mess with the tuning, but I don't know. To me, it bothers me because on my Stripe series, it's chrome, and I've never had that issue. So what I did was I put the brand new spring that it came with. I took all the, 'cause I don't know, maybe I got a defective spring or defective, what do you call these screws right here? Saddle
The
screws?
locking screw, the
Yeah.
locking screw, the long locking screw, yeah.
I don't know if I had a defective one from the factory, so I'm like, you know what? Let me just put the new spring it came with and the new locking screw. I put the long one on. It did absolutely nothing. So I reverted to all the new parts from the red D-Tuna, and I realized it wasn't, none of the parts are defective. All the parts are fine. It's just that, I guess what you guys are saying with the paint, it gets stuck. So I'm like, all right, whatever. And then I noticed that it kept doing that, and I kept finicking around with the little screw there, and I'm like, you know what? Let me post in the group just to see if anybody else had the problem. And I'm like, I can't be the first one. And then a couple people got back to me about it, and I mean, here we are. I mean, everything works fine. It's all good. It's just I've never seen that before, and I didn't know it was. I thought it was just a defective piece, but turns out it's not. Everything's working as the way it should. Everything's, great quality on these things. It's just, it's a weird thing that the paint. See, I was just asking Dave, maybe if I wear the paint down long enough, and I go to the bare metal under it, it'll just start, coming out much easier because all the paint is gone. Pretty much, I got no paint left on it. Where the screw is, I got like a little line of exposed metal, which doesn't bother me at all because no one's going to see it, but I don't know if wearing away is going to do anything on it, but I guess time will tell. I mean, I love it. It's great.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple things. First of all, you know that the claw that's underneath these locking screws. There's a little silver claw.
Yeah, yeah.
You can see it.
Six
It's
of
a metal claw.
Yeah.
Well, with the D-Tuna, first of all, that claw has never really been used on your guitar. It's a brand new guitar, so the metal on that is very stiff.
Right.
So putting the D-Tuna on that at the moment, even though it came with a D-Tuna on it, it's stiff, and that's going to cause friction pulling out and pushing it back in.
Okay.
That's the first thing. So, like on the American one, on both of my my Stealth and the white one, that claw on the low E string is a little bit. It's kind of been worked in a little bit. So
Okay.
pulling out the D-Tuna is very easy on this, and pushing it back in is very easy because that claw has been worked on.
I mean, on this, right out.
Yeah, well, that guitar is also, that's a 2013 guitar? It's a couple years old.
Yeah, I've had this guitar for a little over a year now. This thing just stays in tune unbelievably.
Yeah, some do. D-tuners in general are very finicky. They're very finicky.
I'm not talking just a D-Tuna. I'm talking these guitars. I've really got on the bar, and it just stays in tune. They're very, very strong instruments. They're doing something right with this company.
Yeah. So, all right. So the claw is one thing.
Yeah.
The colored metal on the D-Tuna, whether it be black or red. Well, the black in general. That's paint. The paint on that guitar, on that part, makes it a tiniest, I mean, it's so minute, but it is a tiniest bit thicker than the chrome. And I'm not just explaining this to you, I'm explaining it to everyone who's going to listen. So that, too, is going to cause a little bit of friction, and it's going to be hard to pull it out and hard to push it in. It takes a little bit of time for that to run smoothly. On my red Wolfgang Special, I had the black D-Tuna on a black bridge. And it took all of my elbow grease to pull that out and push it back in.
Okay, so it's...
Then I decided to use... I put a chrome one on there. And it's much smoother. Much smoother. And I also worked that claw a little bit, just getting it a little more pliable, and that made it almost as easy as that, as easy as that. And this, this one, it's just ridiculous how light the pull is. It's very light. So between all those factors, that's why that pull is so hard, and sometimes it doesn't come all the way out. Sometimes it goes halfway, and you think it's out, but you're in a half-step tuning instead of a full whole step.
Right.
So you really, you kind of have to be conscious of where this thing is at all times. You have to really make sure you pull it out. If you want it in D, pull it out all the way. And if you're not sure it's out all the way, give it a good yank.
Yep.
And when you want to, and it's more than just using your thumb, because the thumb, just using your thumb the way you're doing it, it's not always going to engage or disengage all the way.
I do the body and then out.
So what we all need to understand here is that this is a D-Tuna. It's not anything else. It's called a D-Tuna. And what that entails, what that means is your guitar is now a drop D guitar. So what that means, like people try to say, a lot of people say, well, I'm engaging the D-Tuna to D. It's not what it is, that's disengaged as far as I'm concerned, because your E string is the lowest note you can go on this E string is drop D. So that's basically where you're starting when you're tuning it up. When you're tuning the string up and intonating the guitar, you're going to do it in D. So your E now is, for all intents and purposes, a D string. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's a D string. So when you're first intonating this guitar, or when you're first putting the strings on, you're going to have this disengaged. And what I mean by disengaged, you're going to have it pulled out to D, because that's really your starting point. So I call it disengaged into D. Then you put your string on and you tune it to D. You tune the string to D, lock it in at the top. Now you should be in D. From there, you're going to engage the D-Tuna. Push it in. That's engaging it to E. And what you're going to do is, if you're flat or if you're sharp, you're going to use that little set screw in the D-Tuna. If you're flat, you're going to tighten it until you get to E. Or if it overshot the mark and you're sharp, anywhere sharp of E, you're going to loosen it until you get to E. Then you'll be in business. Then the guitar should be intonated. You know, it should be in tune in D when you disengage it back to D, or when you engage it to E. If anyone has any questions about this, feel free to chime in. We'll answer any questions. But with the D-Tuna, it's not necessarily going to be second nature, again, to depress it and to disengage it and engage it. You have to really make sure that it's either way, because they do sometimes get stuck. They have like a mind of their own where it'll pull out some of the way and then kind of get pushed upward, and it won't tune exactly. You have to really make sure that it is out for D, and do it a couple times. Push it out, pull it out a couple times, and when you want to go back to E, push it back in. Make sure it's back in, and all the way, because sometimes it'll stop half the way, and you think you're in, and you're in D sharp instead of E.
So it's happened to you before, right?
Yes. Oh, absolutely. And keep in mind, I'm saying E because I'm assuming that everyone is tuned to standard tuning and not in E, not half step down. For those of you who are tuning half step down, it'll be C sharp or E flat. And that's the way that is. So my guitars are all tuned to standard. So even though, the actual note, if you're in flat, when you're disengaging it, you'll be in C sharp, but it'll be D really, D if you're flat, it's still D, but the note is actually still C sharp. And if you're engaging it, it will be E flat. Those of you in standard tuning, when you're disengaging it, it'll be D. When you're engaging it, it'll be E. It's the whole step. And whenever you're changing the strings, whenever you're doing a string change, don't just assume that the D-Tuna will automatically work.
Yes, good point.
Because that set screw, it moves. It's just a screw, and you're putting your fingers on it.
Yep.
When it's always going to move a little bit. Sometimes you're going to say, well, it's out of tune already. It's been a day or two. The set screw moves. It's not a stable thing.
You said it has been known. It does. That's a very good point you brought up, because it does change. It takes. I shouldn't say it takes as long to break in as when you put strings on a regular guitar without it. But yeah, it does take time to break in.
Yes, absolutely.
So, that's not.
I always suggest keeping all the Allen keys in your pocket or somewhere near you, when you're using a Floyd Rose guitar with a D-Tuna or without a D-Tuna, whatever wrenches you need to change a string or you need to keep them close to you at all times. Yep. Be prepared. So now that you have a D-Tuna on your guitar, make sure you have the little Allen key that goes in that set screw with you. So, you know, because it is going to change. Nothing is set forever. I guarantee, you know, weekly, I'm always futzing with this thing on all the guitars, whether it's a Mexican made, USA made.
You said futzing, right?
It's futzing, yes, futzing. It's, you know, it's just a small piece of metal and it's a moving part. Anything that's going to be a moving part will either break or it'll mess up. So you need to make sure that you're on top of it. It's just maintenance. All it is maintenance.
Man, there's nothing.
And it's definitely going to go out of tune. It's going to go out of tune. So you need to make sure that that you have all the tools available to you to, you know, set it up at any time.
Yeah, you got to make sure the thing's set up like if you're playing shows. If you're gigging and you're using one of those guitars, you got to make sure the thing is totally set up. You know, before you play, because there's been so many times. My main guitar for a lot of years was the Ernie Ball Music Man, and it has one of those on there, the D-Tuna. And I can't tell you how many times I've gotten ready for a show. I'm ready, and then I realize, whoops, you pull it out, and it's like slightly off.
Yep.
You know, and you're screwed. You're totally screwed if you're on stage and that happens. You know, almost. I mean, you can make it work.
Yeah, I mean, you can use the fine tuner, but you got to remember that fine tuner isn't going very far like the rest of them, because
the fine tuna actually the fine tuna.
Fine tuna. That's some fine tuna.
That's Eddie's next invention, the fine tuna, where you can drop, you know. But yeah, mine. I mean, some of my guitars, the action is like this. You know, my Floyd Roses look like they're a plane ready to take off, you know, which isn't right. So I pull the thing out, and it, like, sticks right into the body, you know?
I already got scratches on here from, I mean, they're very minute, but this is another interesting thing, how they carve part of the body, like the body's a little beveled to accommodate.
Yeah, sure.
That's a great idea. I never thought of that.
And it wasn't like that. And the PV version of this guitar did not have that. And that's why they did it, because they found that a lot of those guitars were getting scratched up because.
Are you sure?
There wasn't there. Yeah.
I thought the PV was like that.
There wasn't enough.
The Music Man wasn't.
Huh?
The Music Man wasn't like that.
Check your PV, Wolfgang.
Is the PV?
Check it.
Hang on.
This thing works great, by the way. Get under a bridge.
Oh yeah, sure.
These things are great. Yeah, I thought the PVs had the little bevel thing.
I don't think they do, and I can't check on mine because mine is a flat top guitar. I have a PV Special.
Okay.
So I know for a fact that it's not on the flat top guitars, but I don't think it's on the arch tops either.
I was reading the only difference between the Mexican and the American is the binding. Well, obviously built in the U.S. versus Mexico. The binding is 1-ply versus, is it 3-ply?
5-ply.
5, okay.
Ply.
And it's an arch top?
Yeah, well, the new ones are arch tops as well.
Now, this really caught me by surprise. I thought these were rosewood boards. This is all ebony.
Yeah, it's ebony.
Check H-Site, Sweetwater, everybody says it's ebony. And it's ebony. And also,
it might not be a very dark piece of ebony.
No.
But it's ebony.
Yeah, and also on the American, it's a tilt back head, right?
Correct. And the Americans also, the Floyd Roses are not made in Korea. It's not the F1000.
Right.
It's a German-made Floyd Rose, whereas on the Mexican ones, they're the F1000 Korean Floyd Rose.
Yeah. And also, I think they're stainless steel frets on the Americans.
Correct. And the Mexicans are nickel silver.
Okay.
Which is what on most guitars they're nickel silver.
Right.
The Chinese ones were stainless steel. Maybe the
really?
Japanese ones were too. Yeah.
Wait, you mean
That could have been. That could have been.
Japanese or Chinese?
Chinese.
Both.
Which?
Maybe both. I've got a Chinese one that's made of parts, and mine has stainless steel.
Okay. Yeah. When did they stop making them in Japan? 2013?
I don't remember. I honestly don't remember. So, Johnny, do you have your PV in your hand?
Yeah, and you're right.
Does
it wasn't.
have the...
No. I was thinking about the other part. The other part where it's.
Oh, you're thinking about the route.
The route. Yeah.
Yeah, that has a route in it for the bridge to fit in.
Yes.
So does this, but there's a little notch under the D-Tuna of the EVH version, and none on the PV version.
Yeah, and this didn't have anything. I mean, this is just straight. Nothing.
Correct.
Your bridge totally has to be set up correctly for that, because you got flat guitar right there.
Yeah.
Well, no, this one. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Johnny's, I'm talking about. It's all.
Oh, his music. Yes. Oh, that's the Music Man. Yep.
Yeah, and mine has an actual '80s Floyd Rose on it.
Right.
I stuck on there years and years ago because the original bridge. My hands get wet when I play it, and it rusts. Like you can see where it says Floyd Rose.
Yeah, I saw your video on that. That was really interesting. How I didn't know if sweat can get in there and really take it down.
Oh yeah, sure. It's the acid in his skin. It's the acid if you have high acidity in your sweat, it'll rip the paint right off a car.
Wow.
Yeah, you should see my car.
But, again, anyone that has any other questions or issues on the D-Tuna, put them in the comments below or
Yeah. You can always comment below, and we'll always get the comments, and we can answer your questions.
Cool. So, Nick, does that answer all your questions about it?
Yep.
Are you cool?
Answered. I mean, it's just pretty much the paint. How it. I had no idea that would ever do that. I think it's very interesting, and I think more people.
Yeah. There are people that don't agree, and that just think that everything is equal on all Wolfgangs, and it's not equal. They're not the same. I don't know what else to say. Some people will understand, and other people think, "Oh no, it can't be. It's all the same stuff." It's not. So you just gotta really pay attention. And when it's you gotta really work the pieces in. You gotta like if you have even on a German Floyd, the black is a powder that's on top of the stainless steel or the steel, whatever it is. So it's not, it doesn't come that way. It was put on, so it's going to make things just a little bit thicker.
Yep.
So I mean, it's logic. It's common sense.
What about the black
Go
Floyds?
ahead.
The German Floyds.
It's the same thing. It's a compound that's on top of the steel, so it's going to be a tiny bit thicker than the chrome.
Here's a black Floyd, right there. Yeah.
That's the That's the Ripley.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what a great guitar that is.
Yeah, maybe this needs a black D-Tuna, huh?
That's perfect. Unless you really want to break it up and put chrome on it, but everything's all black.
Well, is that Floyd sitting on the body or is that floating?
It's on the body. This is actually set up pretty well. This is, yeah. Yeah, this is how my other guitar should look. That circles one back there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing needs to be set up a little bit.
Does Eddie own the patent for this?
For what, the D-Tuna?
Yeah, does he have a patent for that?
Well, it's Adam Reaver. Adam Reaver from FU Tone. He owns it. He and Eddie both own it together.
Oh, okay. I was watching his videos on YouTube the other night. Very, very interesting. And in the background, I saw a couple of red Floyds. The whole Floyd was this color red.
Yeah.
Is that? I think I saw a purple one too. I don't know, but
yeah, he has. They're different colored. They're different colored. The company Floyd Rose also has all different colors. I don't know who came out with it first, but both companies have the different colored Floyds.
That was interesting.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's a lot of different ones. There's ones that people, and I've seen them at NAMM. They have a whole display.
Really?
Full of the different Floyd Roses, all total different colors. And there's stuff out there you'd never even believe.
I've seen a Floyd Rose with stripes on it.
Get out of here. Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Speaking of stripes, Eddie's in that new magazine. Johnny, you posted it. What magazine is it?
You mean the one from Spain?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And
what was that called?
I forgot, but I thought the article was going to be translated, and I opened, I don't know, I found the PDF of it, and it's all in Spanish. So yeah. I can't even read the article, but
Did the audio go out?
Did we lose audio? Did we lose audio?
So. I wasn't sure if that was me.
It's very weird. I think we lost Nick's audio.
You can hear us though, right, Nick?
Nick,
yeah,
are you there?
Okay.
There you are.
Okay. Did you guys see those though?
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the deal with those? Did you hear about those at all, or?
Oh wait, what are we talking about?
No, we couldn't hear any of that. Your audio went out.
Sorry. All right. In the Spanish magazine with Eddie, they showed two new Wolfgangs, and it's a black with the yellow stripes. It looks like a Mexican with an ebony board or a rosewood board, and the red with the black and white stripes with an ebony board.
And both have Floyd Rose on them. Those are Eddie's personal guitars.
Oh, okay. I've never seen those.
Yeah, well, he gets what he wants.
Yeah, I thought they would be. I didn't obviously see them at NAMM, but I didn't know if that was like kind of a let's just release this a couple months after NAMM. So
yeah, I doubt it. I doubt that that's getting released like that. I think those are his personal guitars.
Okay. That answers that.
Yeah, and as far as as far as the oh crap, it's after 2:00. I was supposed to get something done before 2. What was I just saying? Yeah, as far as that issue, I read it. Not that I can read Spanish, but you can actually you can translate it.
Oh.
You can copy paragraphs and put it within Google Translate, and it'll translate for you, and you can read it. And some of the words are a little weird here and there, but that article was basically him talking about his gear, the EVH GEAR stuff. And you can tell that it's new, because there was another magazine that kind of came out recently where it was all just older quotes. You know,
Right.
people thought maybe it was new, but it wasn't. This you can tell is new, well, not just because of the photos, but because he actually mentions the LBX. You know,
Okay.
the smaller
Now,
smaller amp.
I'm zooming in, and you can't really see it, but you can make out that it looks like it says special under the Wolfgang. So I don't know if they're
One
gonna.
of you mean the yellow and black
Oh
one?
yeah, those are special necks. You can tell because you can tell that the headstocks are straight. They're not angled,
Right.
and there's no binding around them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because here's my USA. You can tell, you can see the binding around it,
Right.
and even though that's a straight-on view, you can tell that it's angled back.
Yeah. No problem.
So on the other ones, you can tell that it's a special. You don't have to read it because that is not angled at all, and there's no binding.
You tell it straight.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm super super happy with this red guitar. Absolutely. It's really, these things are super good. They're really really good guitars.
Unbelievable for $1,000. Unbelievable.
Yeah. They're great. Yes, and yes, I did a little bit of work to mine to make it a little bit better than it was, putting the stainless and the titanium parts on it. And I dressed it up a little bit with the
Perloy.
perloid ends. Kind of looks a little cooler.
That looks good like that. Where did you get those?
Stuart Mac.
Stu Mac. Yeah. You did you have this reversed? The switch?
I'm sorry? Yes, I made it so that up is the bridge position, and down is the neck.
You like it like that?
Yeah, I don't know why I do like it like that because when I tap, I usually tap on the bridge pickup, and if this switch is down,
Yep.
when I tap, the switch gets hung up right in my wrist, and it's very uncomfortable. With it up, it's out of the way.
I was gonna bring that up yesterday. I mean, before I thought about this yesterday. I was tapping and I did want to work my way, up on the board, and I noticed that it gets like right by your thumb, and I'm like, not gonna complain about that, because Les Pauls were like that, but maybe I will have it rewired,
It's just 2 wires, so it's a pretty easy fix. And I suggest flipping the wires instead of flipping the whole switch, because once you loosen this nut, it never gets tight enough, and then the switch is never in the right position. It always moves a little bit. So I would leave the switch exactly the way it is and open up the back and just have maybe Danny or someone resolder the wires, the other way. It's easier.
I spoke to Danny about the kill switch, and I made up my mind. I mean, like, first I was gonna I'm just taking this out to just get a look in here real quick. But first I thought about putting it in the tone slot.
Right.
But like I said, I really like to fuss around. I don't fuss around with tone a lot on like using the tone knob, but I really like the way this sounds when you change the tone. So I don't want to have to bend a little bit just so I don't have to drill it. I know Danny's going to do it right because Danny's a professional, and Danny.
Yeah, he'll just take his time. He'll take his time, and He'll take his time and do it correctly. Exactly. He's
He
the
goes-
kind of guy that measures twice and cuts once.
Yeah, exactly. He goes. There's three things.
And Johnny, so just so you know, Johnny, we're talking about our friend Danny, who's one of the local techs at the local Sam Ash.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good guy, good tech.
Excellent.
Hey, Danny.
Yeah, Danny goes, you could, cheap, well, or fast. You can't have all three. And that's great to say because, you never want it done. I'd rather pay more and have it done right than
Then have it done half-assed.
By-
Absolutely.
by a tech that doesn't really know what he's doing. I mean, I know two really good techs, Danny and Pete Masillo. I don't know.
Yeah, Pete's great too. Pete's
Unbelievable.
great too. But Danny's cousin, Danny's brother-in-law, Larry Fitzgerald, he's the guy I go to, and that's who Danny learned from. So, Larry works at the Ash in Huntington.
Yeah, they have the Plek machine in Huntington, I heard.
Yeah. But, with the Plek machine, to me, is only as good as the guy doing the work.
Yeah.
And I trust Larry's eyes and hands more than I trust that Plek machine. His fret jobs are ridiculously good. Ridiculous. So I don't use the Plek machine because most people that work it don't know how to work it and your guitar gets screwed up.
Yeah. But I told Danny, I'm like, listen, he goes, I got to drill right through. I'm like, I know. I watched Adams on a FU-tones, and he uses like I don't know the bit on the drill press, but it looks like a thick dime with a sharp, and he made a clean cut, and Danny said we're probably gonna do it at Ash because they have the press there, and he goes, I'm gonna have to make you the cover. I'm like, go ahead. And also,
he doesn't have to make it. He can order the cover from EVH. Just take the top cover off of the switch and outline it and make it the same size down here, and then order the same cover from EVH. They'll send it to him.
Oh, I was thinking more of like a Les Paul, like a circle.
No, well, on Eddie's original stealth guitar, the number one, it's that little circle.
Okay.
But on every other guitar, it's this size. It's exactly this.
Now
so,
you held.
It's the same one you have on yours.
Right. You held the white Wolfgang, and I noticed the Tour Relic one, and it's got the same cut as this, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly. Yep.
So just order the All right, that's good to know.
Yeah, they'll send them one. Yeah, just order another cover. You're going to order the switch cover, control the switch cavity cover, and they'll send you this, and then you can just put it on the bottom.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna do this, but I'm sure you know they're LEDs. Those switches, right?
What switches?
The kill switches, they're LEDs too. Did you know that?
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that they were LEDs.
Well, that's right. You bought yours like that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But I have a white kill switch on one of my Stratocasters.
Right.
I didn't realize it was an LED.
Right. Yeah.
That's cool though.
I think the company is called Tessie, and
Okay.
they're on eBay. There's like 3 or 4 people that sell them, but
Brad Firewind on eBay. He's the guy I got mine from.
I think
Good guy. They're $12.
Yeah, and they come in red, blue, green, white, and yellow, I think. And yeah, they're LED.
And orange.
Yeah, you could have them wired up. It comes with I forgot what the switch is called, but it's got the I and the O on it. And people are Adam from FU-Tone. He just cut his little area in here and just put it in there and just wired it up. It's a simple, they all come with the wiring schematic, so it's really the hard part is the drill. That's the only.
Yes. But when you're putting it over here, on the bottom bout, you have to also drill a hole from here into the other cavity.
That feed the wires through.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, it's all good, and good luck with that. I can't wait to see what it looks like.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. Everybody goes, "Why do you want to kill switch? Why do you want?" Because it's fun. I mean, we are doing this for fun, so
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So Johnny, what do you got? You got anything to add? You good?
I'm good. I'm sorry. There was something I had to do before 2 o'clock, and so I'm like
No,
trying
I
to do
understand.
something. I'm like 17 minutes late doing this. We got some comments here. David Niles Jr. says, "Sweet. Is it an older model EVH guitar?"
Which one?
I'm assuming maybe David, you're talking about Nick's,
this one,
maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
this is 2 weeks old.
But it's a brand new guitar, right? They just got it in.
Yeah, this guitar is actually it's from out of state. They found me one. I want the brand new in box. I'm a little nutty like that. I like them brand new. I mean, I got no problem buying used guitars, but I like to buy them brand new. Older guitars, no problem buy used, but I don't know. I wanted a brand new. It came from out of state, and right out of the box, frets were nice. No, not one edge. The neck is a little different than my Stripe series, which that was the big thing. I was praying that I was going to get a good neck, and this neck far exceeds my expectations of it's a satin finish. It's so fast. To me, it's a little chunkier than the Stripe series, which is nice.
Yeah, from front to back. From front to back, it's absolutely going to be less. It's going to be more chunky, but from side to side, it's going to be smaller this way, which is great. The neck on your Stripe series is 1 3/4 inches at the nut.
Yep.
And this is 1 5/8 inches at the nut, so it's smaller, more comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And this is about a little over a year old. I don't know. My thing is showing it's speeding up. Am I live?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're live.
My picture is showing like my head is going back and forth really quick. It's really weird.
Oh, you're not doing that?
No.
Is mine doing that?
No.
No, but the Wi-Fi, it's a little spotty. It's not.
I can see
not,
you. You look fine.
The black and yellow now, or?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, you're holding the black and yellow.
All right. Yeah, this guy is a little over a year. Same thing, brand new. But the neck on this is a little bit different, like you said, but got that same great feel to it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Mm-hmm. I've got one of those too. I've got this one.
Oh, cool.
Got the circles. Whoops. Mine has a dent in it.
You switched out the pickup, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the same pickup though. It's a Wolfgang. It's just black.
Yeah. See, I wanted to. Thing is, you can't buy the white version of this. You'd have to either rip it out of that one or the
Star.
Star.
Yeah, I can think of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I
have one that was ripped out of the store. Yeah, I got a question. Somebody has a question. I think. Huh? What were you saying, Dave?
My black and yellow guitar has a it has a DiMarzio in it, and I took the I gave you that Wolfgang pickup, didn't I?
Yeah, this black one. This is actually from his black and yellow.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and I put a double cream DiMarzio in mind to make it look more like Ed's old guitar, the way it was when it was new.
Yeah, I was there the day you.
I remember you were there. Yep. Yep.
Oh wow, we're getting a lot of questions and stuff all of a sudden.
Cool.
People are
coming up. People are coming home from work and they're seeing it now.
okay. Let me see what else. Somebody, sorry if I mispronounced your name. I can't even read that far. Aldwin? Do you guys know him? Do you know Aldwin?
Baldwin.
Retton?
Yeah. Okay.
Do you know him? He says, watching it now. He's watching the video, or he was at least 12 minutes ago. Good info, guys. Thanks. Takes me a long time to set the D-Tuna up on my Kramers. He says.
Yeah, especially if the Kramer has a floating bridge, it's not going to work. A lot of those old Kramers from the 80s, the bridge was set floating. They're not against the body. And it's you won't be able to get the D-Tuner to work on a floating bridge.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah, and it really they have to be set up correctly, otherwise they won't. You'll find a whole set of issues like what he was having with his. Let's see. Bruce Wayne. Hey Dave, where do you get the old style Floyd Rose?
From Floyd Rose in New Jersey. I'm friends with the powers that be over there, so I get like a friend of the family. I don't really want to call it an endorsement because it's not really, but since I'm friends with the family there, I get really great prices, and I also buy them in bulk, so I get a little bit better of a price because I buy them in bulk since I have a lot of guitars, and I'm constantly building guitars. So so that's where I get the old arm assemblies, and like if I'll most of the time I get the 1984 reissue Floyd. It already has the big brass block on it. It has the brass fine tuners on it, and it usually comes. It always comes with the older style arm assembly on it. The only time that I switch that up is when they're out of stock on that 84 reissue. Then I'll call them and I'll ask for an original, and I'll ask them to put all the parts from an 84 on it. So what they'll do is they'll take the steel block off, they'll put a big brass block on, and they'll put the old style arm on it. And I've been slowly but surely switching out, like on this guitar here, I have the new collar, which I'm going to keep on them because all these Wolfgangs have this style collar, this style on their Floyd Roses, even the American ones. So I'm going to keep it on here the way it is. But on all my Kramers and everything that I've done before they started making those old arm assemblies, I'm switching them over slowly but surely. I think I've got one or two left that need to be switched over. And that's where I get it. It's Floyd Rose Marketing, and they're in Wall Township, New Jersey.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's a brand new old style Floyd.
Yes.
They're new. They're brand new, but they're made like
new.
The old ones.
They're reissues, basically, is what they're reissuing the old parts.
Like this is an old one.
Yes.
Like this
Correct.
is an actual. This came off a Kramer from 1984 or something. So this is an actual old thing, but they're making them like this now, and they're similar, right? Very similar.
Yep. Yep. Hang on a second, and I'll go grab one.
I find it weird the way that's designed. The Ernie balls, how there's virtually very little cut. I mean, on these and the Wolfgang, the PVs, they got a nice cut, but the Ernie Ball's got no, almost flat.
Oh, the top horn.
Yeah.
The top horn. Yeah. Well, they couldn't cop. I mean, this is Ernie Ball's body, so they when they made the PV Wolfgang, they made something similar, but they had to change it up a little bit.
No, I'm saying how Eddie. I thought Eddie would have just been like cut all that out, but that's really, it's literally triangular the way it comes. It comes to like a point.
You're talking about the top one right here?
Yeah, I'm surprised Eddie went along with that design.
Well, I mean, you really just have to be able to reach this side.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay, so I've got two Floyds here. The one in this hand is one from the early 80s. That I put a tungsten block on. Now this is a heavier piece of metal than the big brass. It's a lot heavier, and I'm going to be putting this bridge on my next build. This one, on the other hand, is the reissue 1984 with the old arm assembly, the brass fine tuners, and the brass block.
Dave, you want to talk a little bit about the differences between some of the blocks?
Sure.
Because I know you were talking a little bit about how you bought a couple aftermarket blocks, but I don't really know much about that. So, do you want to get into that a little bit?
Yeah, we could do that, as long as Johnny has the time to do that. Johnny, are you cool with that?
Yeah, I'm cool. I did what I had to do.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm just going through these. We're getting a lot of questions. So I'm just going through them.
Well, that's cool. So
Hey, Bruce
anyway,
Wayne.
hang on one second. All right, so the differences between the blocks. The block that comes on an original Floyd Rose or an early
It's David Allen Nussdahl.
yeah, an early '80s Floyd Rose or mid '80s Floyd Rose is going to be steel. It's a very thin piece of metal. It sounds okay, but it's not as resonant. It's not as there's not as much presence. The brass, like on this, is going to be a bigger sound. Right away, you'll hear a difference. You'll hear a difference when you're strumming chords, when you're playing single notes. The strings, the whole guitar reacts differently with this block on it. Hang on one second. Just hang on. I'll be right with you. You guys talk amongst yourselves for a second.
Mute your audio. Okay, there we go.
Do you have any aftermarket blocks and anything?
Huh?
Do you have any aftermarket blocks?
I've got yeah, I've got this one. I've got the brass block in this guitar. If you can see it.
I don't know what this is. I don't know. This is a Floyd 1000.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the regular block, but it looks like you have the noiseless springs in there.
Yeah, I put the springs in, but the block's obviously not brass. So what would you say that is?
Well, let's see.
It's the regular. It's the regular one that comes with the Floyd 1000.
That's steel. That's just steel. It's the same block that comes with any normal original Floyd Rose. It's steel.
How much of the brass?
What's that?
How much of the brass blocks?
They're probably around $40 or $45.
Not bad.
Yeah, it's not horrible.
When you buy a titanium Floyd, I know they're like $800. Now, are you getting the block included and the titanium saddles and the titanium screws? That's everything.
Yes, it should. The whole thing should be titanium. Yeah.
To continue, please press 1.
Mm-hmm. What about your springs? They're noiseless, right? Is that what they call them?
It's time for
They're sorry, someone's CVS called and leaving a message.
No, that's okay.
Can you hear it or?
Yeah, it's all right though.
Yeah, but that's all right.
Ridiculous. Yeah, they're red noiseless springs, actual Floyd Rose. But yeah, they look cool. I didn't hear any noise in the other ones, but yeah, I just went with. I originally wanted 3, like one in the middle and then one on the end, but there was too much tension. These are 9 to 46,
Mm-hmm.
so a little too much tension.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's one thing. You know, with 9s, with 9-gauge strings, if you use more than 2 springs, it's overkill. It's hard to bend. So it's hard to use the Floyd. So
I use 2.
Me too. I use 2 springs on everything.
So with your red ones though, being noiseless, what, you can't do this? It doesn't make that noise? Is that what the deal is?
Do you hear it?
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
But maybe
yeah, it makes the crashing noise, but it doesn't reverberate like it does on the
yeah, I can.
Oh, okay. Like on some guitars, you know, I had to stick like a business card in between them.
Really?
To get no spring sound. So it cuts down on the spring sound.
Yes.
Spring sound. All right, I'm getting a lot of this guy's asking me a lot of questions.
So bring on the questions.
Also Rutten. Aldwin?
Yeah.
Aldwin? Rutten? He says he heard his name. Not easy to pronounce. It's Dutch. He uses what? No floating Floyds, a Pacer, and a 1984 Beretta. And put one on my 5150 and even my Frankenstein. Love these little things. Cool, man. Cool. Yeah, so he was talking about the D-Tuna.
The D-Tuna. And you know what? The reason why I knew how to pronounce your name, Aldwin, is because, I mean, the Baldwin family, just take the B away, and there's your name. And there's also a town called Baldwin here on Long Island. So, you know, it sounds like Aldwin.
Mm-hmm.
Very easy to pronounce your name.
Okay, here we go. Jep VH says, I'll type it on YouTube. Oh, he wants you to answer a question, but it's not in there. It's somewhere else. Let me see. Yeah, and if you're watching this, he says he has to get going, but if you're watching this, yeah, you can always watch this later. If you're not actually watching now. Oh, how do you get to that? Here it is. He had a question about hey Dave, the string lock screw from Stu Mac, was it long enough for the low E string? Same length as the one that EVH supplies?
Well, I didn't get the string locking screws from Stu Mac. I got the perloid buttons on my tuning pegs from StewMac. The D-Tuna. Hang on a second. The string locking screw under the D-Tuna on this guitar is black. Now I know it looks silver because I painted it with a silver Sharpie to make it match the other ones.
Wait, what did you paint?
The screw, the long screw. It's not black. The screw that's inside the D-Tuna.
Okay.
The long screw that the D-Tuna sits on.
Okay.
See, you can tell. Hang on, let me see if I can get a better photo of this. You can tell that it's silver.
Yep.
It looks like the other stainless steel ones, and I used a silver Sharpie to color it silver.
Good idea.
But Adam Reaver at FU Tone, he has the longer screws in stainless steel. So and I'm sure they're like no more than $4 or $5. So if you needed a silver one, a silver colored one, stainless steel one, you can just get one from him, or do what I did and get a silver Sharpie and just paint it. Just color it in, and there you have your silver. But where I shop at Floyd Rose doesn't carry the D-Tuna because it's not their product. Adam Reaver, he owns the product. He came up with it, so basically he sells it to whatever, Guitar Center or whatever, or you can get it from him directly, or you go to your local music store and they order it from him. So that's the way to get that. Again, you can order that longer screw, because the normal ones, I have a normal stainless steel screw here. Hang on, and I'll show it to you. Oh, God. That is your stainless steel screw. But this is the normal sized one that the other, that these are. And you need a longer one for your D-Tuna. So this one is not good. It won't work. It's too short. And that's why I painted the long existing one on the guitar silver.
That guitar, that came with a D-Tuna, right?
Yeah, it came with a black one, this guitar. But I wanted the spring to the string locking screw to match the other ones.
Bless you.
Excuse me. Thank you. I wanted it to match the other ones that I had put on. So that's what I did.
Kyle says, "Hey Johnny." Hey Kyle. Bruce Wayne. Hey Dave. Where do you get the old style Floyd Rose arms? Did we answer that? Or maybe maybe it was arms he was asking about, not the Floyds themselves.
Oh.
Same thing.
Well, I get them from Floyd Rose Marketing in New Jersey.
Yeah.
It's Floyd Rose, basically the company Floyd Rose. I get them. I think anyone can order stuff from them. I think. I don't know what the normal retail price is because the prices I get are a bit different. But I think you can call Floyd Rose and have them send you one. All you got to do is give them your credit card, and they'll take care of it. So.
Or tell me no Dave knows all. And they'll charge you double.
And then they'll charge me triple.
Bruce Wayne. Oh, and Kyle. Yes, Kyle. Yeah, if you have any questions, you can ask them wherever you just asked that. I think it's on the comment section itself on the video. I get alerted to those. Bruce Wayne. Again, what size nut did Eddie use on his guitars?
Well, it depends. Some of his guitars, would be an R3, which is the wide, and most of his guitars are R2 nuts. If his neck was an 1 5/8", it would be an R2, and if it was an 1 3/4" or an 1 11/16", it would be the R3.
Because they're different on each guitar, from the Kramers to the Music Man to the
Correct.
whatever I have.
Well, the
sitting here.
Kramers and the
PV.
Music Man will be the same size, but the neck that's on his Frankenstein is 1 3/4 inches. It's a wider fretboard, so that would be a bigger nut.
And the PV, even I mean on the production ones, it's a top mount nut. On Eddie's,
Yeah.
it went through the back.
Yes.
Like
this.
the Music Man or the old Kramers, like that. Yes.
Correct. Yeah.
Yes. What else? Somebody. Does Dave use nut sauce to lube the D-Tuna or chapstick?
I don't use either. You can use nut sauce on any movable part, basically, whether it's on a nut or on the bridge. Basically, all it is grease. It's just in a tube, like a syringe tube. But you know, if you work it enough, it loosens up on its own. I don't really think that I would use nut sauce or grease on that part. You can also use something called deoxit, and what that does also, it's greaseless, but it'll also make things a lot smoother. This arm itself, it used to be so noisy when I would do this. And like it was really noisy, horrible, like really bad. And I put I sprayed a little deoxit on that, right on the collar, and it got rid of the noise. So you can spray that anywhere. It's like oil, but not oil. It's greaseless, and it lasts a long time.
Paul Rodden says, where are we? I have 2 left-handed Floyds from the 80s with the old style arm, but no brass block or brass fine tuners. Does Dave know what year they stopped using the brass block?
They never really.
Was it from 1985?
Really,
like Marty McFly?
Floyd Rose never really used brass to begin with. That was an aftermarket thing. The brass fine tuners, they were probably from their inception in 1982.
What about the brass block movement? When was that?
You're killing me, Johnny.
Are you a big Chicago fan?
No. Yes, Chicago the band.
Yeah, brass rock.
Yes.
Wasn't that called brass rock?
I don't know. I call it yacht rock. Really, you sit on your yacht and listen to that music.
Yacht rock.
So anyway, from 1982 when they first started till about 1984, they were brass colored, like the ones on this reissue. Then they started to paint over the brass in late '84. They used to paint them black to match the other screws and the inserts.
Like this, right?
Yeah. So
like this is
but they never had brass blocks on them from the inception. They were always that steel.
Because you can see that where you can see underneath.
Yeah. When they wear off, when the paint wears off, you'll see the brass. Yeah. The whale tail bridges weren't brass either. What they were was a thicker piece of steel, like cold rolled steel, that usually were painted black. Some of them were left unpainted, but they were thicker. And then they went to that thin metal that you see on Nick's guitar. I didn't change the one on this bridge. It's that thin steel. I didn't change the one on the white American one either. It's thin steel. I'm leaving them as is because both guitars sound great without me changing that part. The only time that I really change that part is when the guitar needs a little help, when it's a little bit light in the loafers, when it seems a little brittle sounding or it sounds a little thin sounding. I add that brass block and it beefens it up, makes it a little more beefy.
Beefens?
Beefens. Yo, it beefens, man. Beefens.
Beefing.
Anyway, so that's that. Basically, in the 80s, they were the blocks were never brass. This was an aftermarket thing.
Cool.
I hope that answers your question.
Cool. Okay, I think we have one more maybe, or two more, and then we should probably probably call this. And this is going to be one of two hangouts. Dang.
Yeah. And is Alan still around? I know he had to go pick up his daughter at 4.
No, he's gone. No, he asked if we were available Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
Wednesday afternoon, early
Yeah,
afternoon.
Yeah. Sure.
And we can talk to Alan. That's Alan Garber. I think I'm fuzzy. Kyle says I've seen. But hang on. Kyle says I've seen the bald man before. He has a huge EVH collection, right? Bald guy.
You talking about me?
Yeah, he's got a bunch of guitars sitting there behind him.
Yeah.
What is your most unique guitar you have in your collection? I don't know if he's talking to you or me. Maybe we'll just go. Maybe everybody. What about you, Nick? What's your most
unique
guitar that you own?
All right. Let me go get it. This is a Squire actually. It's a John 5 signature. But
Cool.
I'm not a huge fan of gold, but there was something about it that I had to have. And this is not stock at all. I mean, everything else comes gold on it. It came with black pickups and black knobs, but I had it wired a little differently. The way this guitar is wired is you get 2 master volumes. So you get some really cool sounds out of it, but that wasn't really for me. So I had it volume and a tone and a split, the push-pull, and these are DiMarzio deactivators. They're gold bobbins. But the great thing about this guitar is it's got a really nice, it kind of feels like the Wolfgang neck, but with a little bit more finish on it, but it's still very smooth. It's a rosewood board, made in China. It is a Squire, like I said, but this guitar really does sound good, especially clean. It kind of has the characteristics of a Les Paul a little bit, but the cool thing is you don't see a lot of tellies with this. It's got double binding on it, which is different. I think correct me if I'm wrong, but the tellies had. I'm sorry, the custom tellies had those, right?
Had the which?
The telly customs had the binding on both sides, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've got a Tele Custom with no binding, so I don't know.
You did that in the 70s or what?
No, mine's a 72 reissue. It's but it's from '96. Actually, it's from Japan.
Okay.
Go ahead, Johnny. What's your most eclectic or What's the
Unique?
question? Unique guitar,
Unique
yeah.
guitar? I would say, as far as right here, I guess it'd have to be the Ripley. I guess it's it's basically a guitar with an active Bartolini pickup, and it has 6 panning pots. So this is a pickup, but it has like you can basically move each coil. If you use 2 amplifiers, you can pan each string basically to whichever amp you want.
Wow.
So you can either go hard left, hard right, or anywhere in between. Right.
Right.
And I would say probably, huh?
I said right. Yeah,
Right.
That's cool.
Probably the one tune everybody relates to this would be a song called Top Jimmy. Listen to Top Jimmy off 1984, and listen to the intro especially, and you'll hear. Wear some headphones, and you'll hear.
Also, yeah. Also, the song Ripley, which became Blood and Fire on the Different Kind of Truth record, and I believe. No, I'm probably wrong. He probably used something else, but on the Ripley, he used the Ripley guitar, and you can actually hear the strings panning from left to right on that song.
Huh? On which one?
On Ripley, the Wildlife version.
The Wildlife version, yes. Yeah, the Wildlife version, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and the Ripley that he had, the Ripley that Eddie used was not this one. This is the production one.
Correct.
Does that. It's got the tilt. Headstock.
Yeah, that's a great guitar, man.
I mean, it's basically, it's like a Beretta guitar, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely it is.
Mine's kind of unique, kind of weird, because of the serial number is just number 5. So.
Mm-hmm.
It's a cool axe. But yeah, that's probably the most unique one I have, I guess. I mean.
Mm-hmm. I have a lot of unique guitars, but I think one of the coolest ones I own is my green PV Wolfgang.
That's so nice.
And the reason, what makes it unique is I have a sustainer pickup in it, very similar to what Eddie used in the, I want to say from the balance era till I'd say about 2005 or so. Now I'll do a little bit of a demo, but you'll have to excuse me for it may or may not sound good through the little speaker in this iPad. But how it works is there are 2 switches. I don't know if you can see them, but there are 2 switches there. One engages one turns on the pickup, and the other one determines where the feedback is on the string. It'll be a lower feedback or a higher feedback. So just say here's a note. So now I'll engage it. And you can do that forever. So that's how that works. And it's a very it's a unique guitar. It actually sounds great. It's very comfortable to play. It looks like every other Wolfgang in the world pretty much. It's got this cool green finish which I love. Took me forever to find one in green. Stays in tune really well, set up really well, but that sustainer pickup makes it very unique. And there you have it.
Very cool.
That sustainer pickup. Did they have to? There's like a big space between the body and the pickup. Was that made a little bit bigger, or was that like that?
Well, most of them come like this. Basically, they're the one that Eddie has. It's a single coil. Both this one and that one is a single coil, but they put two coils together. One is a dummy coil so that it fits in the hole,
Okay.
like a humbucker would. So, only one side, this inside coil, is the coil that works. So when it's down, even when it's not engaged, it's a single coil.
Oh, okay. Now,
It's a single coil pickup. But Eddie decided to, for whatever reason he decided, he didn't have the dummy coil next to it. He just shoved this one single coil in the middle of that humbucker route.
right.
So that's how his are. Because he didn't care. As long as it worked for him,
Right.
that's all that matters to him, and that's all that's ever mattered to him. So it didn't matter what it looked like as long as it worked. And for, the regular guy who, really cares about what something looks like, they made this dummy coil so that it fits right in that route perfectly.
I got a picture of Eddie's right here, and you can see it's like one coil right there.
Yeah, there it is. Yep.
Just one. It's like right in the middle, it looks like, too.
Right in the middle. And that's, it's able to fit right in the middle of really nicely, actually.
I can never find pictures of that guitar. I don't know what it is, but is that the one that he smashed?
Yes,
Okay.
it is.
There's only one green one, right?
Yeah, there's only one green one that he's ever really used. Although there was a I don't know what year it was. Maybe it was 2003 or something at the NAMM show when he played the green standard, the green arch top with the rosewood fretboard.
Mhm.
Like a custom.
Yeah, it was a custom shop one, but it was just a regular arch top with a rosewood fretboard with block inlays.
There's another photo of it.
Dave, are you gonna get the 5150 sticker, or are you just gonna leave it?
No, I don't. I mean, I want to show off as much of this green top as possible.
That top's ridiculously nice.
And,
He's gonna give in at some point, though. Trust me, he's gonna have those stickers on there eventually.
Nah, I'm really not. They're too big. They're way too big.
They are big.
And they're not even, if they were the size of, say, the 5150 stickers that are on the 5150 guitar, the Kramer, I would think about it. But they're just way too big.
There's another one.
Yeah, they look how big they are.
Yeah.
I think they're cool.
Dave, yours is a maple board, right?
Yes. Yep.
How long did it take you to find that?
What did it take? Like a month, Johnny? You remember that hangout we did where I asked everyone to help me find one?
Mm-hmm.
I think like either the next day or 2 days later, someone texted me. There's one at the Guitar Center in Seattle, Washington.
It was just like it just took a few days. It was quick.
Well,
But you got the guitar like a week later or something.
yeah, I mean it was quick once I asked for people's help, but I was actively looking for one on my own for like a month.
Okay. Yeah, I never see them pop up. I think
They
that's...
They don't. And there are only 92 of all the Wolfgangs that were ever made, the PV Wolfgangs. And you got to think from late 1995 till 2005, which is a 10-year span, No, 2008, right? When were the first EVHs made?
2000.
In 2009, right?
Yeah.
So I guess Peavy was making guitars until about 2008. No, can't be. 2007 was the tour. So 2006. We'll call it 2006. From
They changed them.
late 1995 to 2006, of all the colors, whether it be arch tops, flat tops, whatever, there was only 92 green made.
Really?
So, yeah. So that's how hard it is to find a green one.
Is that a special?
Yeah, this is called a special deluxe.
Okay.
What makes it a deluxe is that it's a translucent color with a flame top.
Mm-hmm.
Can you show the binding on that?
The binding?
Yeah.
It's wood. It's wood binding.
I was gonna say that's really nice. Yeah. That's neat. So that whoever bought that, I mean, whoever had that pretty much put the sustainer in there. I mean, they never released it.
Yes. Yeah, it was. No, they didn't release them.
Now
This was done.
that's
This
Sustainiac.
was done aftermarket.
That's the Sustainiac, right?
What's that?
That's not the Fernandez.
This is a Fernandez. Yeah, it's a Fernandez.
Oh, it's not the Sustainiac?
No,
Oh.
it's a Fernandez sustainer.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Did you guys see that photo of Chip with all the relics that he made?
No.
No.
Check it out. It's cool. All the guitars,
Oh, neat.
or some of them maybe.
Oh, how cool is that?
Is that 20 guitars?
It's got to be.
Like 13?
Oh no. Yeah. Yep. Because a couple of them had to have been sent out by now.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
That's really cool that you got to hold one, man. Because yeah, I saw one. I actually got to see one, but it was in a case.
Yeah.
You know, a display case. That's awesome, though. Okay, real quick, I guess we should wrap this up. I think it's been like 4 hours. Paul Roden says, I wish I was live with you guys. I have a unique guitar. It's a Fender Strat that I painted black and white with 4 pickups. It's
wow.
It's wired like the Steve Morris model with a few mods.
No kidding.
He said.
That's cool.
That's really cool.
That's interesting.
It's really cool, man.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I gotta let my dog out, so we should probably call this one. She's right at the door and she's like panting.
All right. Have either of you played the Music Man Axis? What do you think of it? Bruce Wayne
Yes,
says.
I've owned a few of them and they're okay. They're cool. They're nice guitars, but they're a lot different than the Eddie Van Halen version of it.
Yeah, they're not the same guitar. They might look similar. Necks are a little different down here. The necks are bigger on the Axis. So, all right. And Dave just left.
I'm coming back.
Huh?
I'm coming right back. Hang on.
So man, so you've been to Dave's, huh?
Yeah.
Haven't you played some of his guitars?
Yeah, it's a sight to see, and everything is set up perfect. Like, there's not one guitar where I picked his brain about every guitar. Every guitar he had his brain, and he was nice enough to go through every guitar and give me the history on it, and everything was set up just paper thin action. Everything was unbelievable. It's like a museum.
You live in a museum.
Well, thank you, Nick. Thank you for that. That's really nice of you to say.
Everything's clean too. That's another thing.
Everything's clean, especially with 3 cats and a dog in the house.
No, not one guitar had dust on it.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
He'll jump back in. Cool, cool. That's awesome, man. Yeah, I have yet to play any of. Well, actually, Dave, he actually gave me a guitar, so I've played one of his guitars.
Sorry about that, guys.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Said call failed.
That's all right. That's cool. That's cool. Okay. I guess we'll wrap this up. Well, hey, it was great meeting you, Nick.
Yeah. Awesome.
I know I have you on Facebook, although I don't think we've ever. I don't know if we've ever talked or anything, but.
A couple times.
But yeah, great to meet you though, man. And yeah, come back anytime if you want to. If you enjoy doing these hangouts, we love doing these things. And I was gonna make like a schedule, like we would pick like certain days we would do hangouts. That's something we've been talking about, like maybe like 3 days a week, like actually have like a date and a time where we actually plan them, so people know exactly when to expect them, because we tend to just kind of like, oh hey, we're going live, here we are, and people are like, huh, and they jump in and
that'd be great to do the schedule. I mean, like I know we gotta wrap it up, but if you post them on like the Eddie Van Halen Facebook group page, and the Frankenstein page, you're part of that, right? That'll bring tons of people to watch these things, and 3 days a week. That's awesome. I'd love, I watch them all the time, but I had really no time. But now school's done, so I got all the time in the world to sit and talk about these things. So
Cool stuff.
cool. Yeah, we love talking about this stuff. It's great, and people love this stuff. So cool. Okay. All right. Well, hey. Well, don't hang. I'm gonna say goodbye, but don't hang up yet.
okay.
Well, hey, David Nesdall.
Later.
It's always great to see you, man.
Same here. Just so in case people don't know, Johnny and I have never physically met yet. We've been friends for 2 or 3 years now, and we've never physically been in front of each other, which is really, it's different. To say the least, it's different.
Summertime's coming up. Let's plan a trip.
Yeah.
You don't have any idea how many people have said, "Yeah, let's all go to California and pile in Johnny's house." Except Johnny won't tell anyone where he lives. He lives in the Batcave.
Where does Rob Johnson hail from?
Rob lives in Massachusetts, just outside of Boston.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, no. I live in Santa Cruz. If you guys like to surf, it's the place to be.
Gnarly.
So cool. All right, we're out of here. Anybody, if you have any more questions or comments, just leave them on the video, and
we'll get to them someday.
Yes. All right. Great to meet you, man.
You too, Johnny.
Nesdall. All right, Johnny Beane, johnnybeane.com. Do you guys have a website? Do you guys have a page or anything you want to shout out?
Personal page, but that's about it.
Cool. All right. Yeah, so like I said, we'll be doing more of these hangouts like 3 times a week. We'll figure them out. I've got a general idea when they would be, but I'll discuss this with Dave. And yes, all right. Great talking to you guys about this stuff.
Cool.
Keep rocking, you guys.
Take it easy, guys.
All right, later.
Bye.